Hello, everyone, and welcome. I have a very special guest with me today. Meet Dale. She's a proud mom of five wonderful children and a grandma to four adorable grandchildren. She's been a Diamond Band member with Amari Global for the past 6 years, which is a mental wellness company. And sharing this information and being a part of the mental wellness movement has become a part of Dale's life work. So, with that being said, I'm just going to hop right in. And Dale, thank you for being here. Can you
Oh,
just,
thank you.
of course, yes, can you tell us what inspired you to pursue this field and be with Amari Global? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. Thank
Mhm.
you so much for having me. Like I said, this has really become my life's work, and I will be sharing this information and this message until the day I leave this planet. And I can assure you. So I've always been into health and wellness from the time I was a little girl. My dad was into holistic healing. Healed his own cancer. He was given like a year to live, and he lived
Wow.
another 40 years. So I've always been in that mindset of the body can heal itself naturally. And I do truly believe that if we give it the right things. So I've been in health and wellness my whole life. I raised my kids with homeopathy and herbs and acupuncture and chiropractic. So I've always gone the holistic, crunchy route, I guess you can call it, right? So I've been in the industry of network marketing for 16 years. I really believe in the industry because not only they provide very high quality supplements, but it also allows a mom or a family to really bring in another income stream. So I'm also on a mission like to bring moms home, right? Because family life is so much calmer when one of the parents
Yes.
is home. I was with another company for 10 years. And when I was at a marketing convention and I met a woman who was with the mental wellness company. They had just started, that was back in 2018. At the time, my daughter was in college and she was struggling. She was struggling with anxiety and depression and started having panic attacks. And I, again, wanted to go the holistic route. So, long story short, I got my daughter on the protocol. This was completely new information for me. I never knew about the gut brain connection, never knew about it. I knew that the gut housed a lot of our immune system, but I never
Yeah.
knew that it was responsible for our mental well being. So
Mhm.
she basically got her life back,
Oh, wow.
literally, because she had been in writing program. She was one of
Mhm.
six in the country in this writing program. And when she was going through this time, she was like, I cannot write and I'm not a good writer. And now she's writing a book. So
Wow.
yeah, so it just shows you like how down she was, that she wasn't, so that was really what started me, learning more. And so actually the company had just started. So they flew me
Mhm.
out to California to meet them. At that meeting, I met other moms who had
Wow.
kids that had ADHD, who had kids that were really struggling, who had themselves been struggling with postpartum issues or just mental well-being in general. And I was like, how can I not share this information? Like it felt to
Right.
me like a responsibility at that point. I'm getting the chills right now because this is so
Oh.
like going back to that time, like I can see it right now and the feelings, So I left my other company that I'd been with for 10 years and jumped on board. And I just was like, I just still feel to this day like such passion in sharing the information because it's helping so many kids and so many
Yes.
moms in so many ways. Our formulator he has a doctorate in nutritional biochemistry, and he also has a course, a certification for mental wellness coaches, which I ended up getting certified in. So we learned
Wow.
so much about the microbiome and the gut brain connection. And it's just fascinating information.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dale. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that story about your daughter. So we know that it's this product that that is so dear to you has helped with people with anxiety and depression. You've seen that firsthand with your daughter. Can you speak a little bit about a client that you worked with that had ADHD or had a child with ADHD? Just tell us about the experience and if you saw any transformations.
Yes, so this is amazing because I personally have not, like, none of my kids had that issue. But
Mm-hmm.
when I met the moms out in California and their
Mm-hmm.
kids did, it was
Mhm.
like, wow. But then I started, building my organization, and I actually have several moms that have kids with that issue. And myself including, I'm helping those moms as well, connecting with them. So I recently had a mom who's actually, her child has many issues.
Mhm.
He is on the spectrum as well as
Mhm.
having, multiple sensory issues. So we recently introduced a new protocol for kids called Kids Happy Juice. And
Ooh, happy
she
juice.
got, and I did an interview with her on my Facebook page recently. And she shared that she put her child on it. She didn't say anything to the teachers because she didn't want them to think anything. And
Mhm.
within, I think it was about a week or so, the teacher contacted her and said, your kid had a great day. He was like emotionally regulated. He was moving from one thing to another easily, which normally
Wow.
is very difficult for that child. He's sitting in his chair. He's paying attention. He's being super cooperative. Like, I don't know what's going on, but this kid is like done a 180. So
Wow.
I know it was crazy. So she was so excited. But we have so many. I mean, I have
Yes.
this little boy was getting C's and D's at school, and
Wow.
getting on the protocol, his mom was like, he's getting A's and B's. Like he's sitting in his chair, like he's able to focus. And we were like, oh my gosh, hallelujah. And then
That's
there's actually been kids where they no longer needed the IEP, which is like pretty crazy.
wow.
And I mean, we literally have hundreds, if not thousands, of testimonials in this group. We have 54,000 people in our group right now that share their testimonials in there. So I'm happy to like invite anyone in to come and look and look at the
Yes.
stories. I mean, the science is fascinating, but when you
Mhm.
see the stories, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the moms experience the same thing.
Yeah.
They're getting these reports from the school, like he won't sit in his chair, he's being really disruptive, he
Mhm.
just can't focus. And then you read those stories and you're like, yeah, that was my kid.
Yeah.
And then they share the stories, and it's like, I had a mom the other day who I had shared some stories with her, and I said, do you want to see the PDF, the ingredients? She's like, nope, just send me the stuff.
Wow.
And she
She's
had
ready. She was
seen,
ready to go.
yeah, she's like, I got nothing to lose because we do have a 90-day money back guarantee. So it's like, you have nothing to lose.
Right.
And it's incredible because it helps kids too with like regular like gut issues like constipation, things of that nature. Because what we know is kids, especially really young ones, they can't necessarily articulate how they're feeling, but they'll often
Right.
say like my tummy hurts, or their
Mhm.
behavior is like they're off bouncing off the walls. You know what I mean? It's like,
Absolutely.
so it's like I just love like what this can do for kids to just balance the
Yes.
and calm the nervous system. And there's like
Yes.
specific herbs that do that, and strains of probiotics and prebiotics and phytobiotics. And that's the thing that people don't necessarily understand. Like they know their kid needs a probiotic. Like a lot of people, I
Right.
think that's pretty mainstream at this point,
Mhm. Right.
but they don't know that there's different probiotic strains for different things. So
Right.
there's three strains that we use that have been clinically studied for stress resilience, for calm, for focus, for, you know what I mean? Like for immune
Right.
system. So it's
Right.
really important that you have the right strain and that you have the right prebiotic to help that strain proliferate.
This is fascinating, Dale. I am a former third grade teacher and school counselor, so I have seen what ADHD and
Mhm.
autism and all the different educational disabilities. What they, I have had the privilege to give those supports to the kids and also create the supports as a counselor. And I just think it's fascinating that you said that some of these kids have been able to do away with their IEPs. I mean, that is, and if you're listening and you don't know what an IEP is, and it's an individualized educational plan, and it's designed for kids who have learning disabilities. And so it sounds, Dale, like this type of product that you're talking about, the happy juice or what have you, it works pretty much immediately. Like people have seen results, like their kids have been literally drinking this happy juice and then getting calls that same day from the teacher saying like how that they've been performing in school, their behavior's been great. I think this is amazing because all the things you touched on with ADHD, it's all about a deficit in the executive functions. So, like you touched on, impulse control,
Mhm.
emotional regulation, decision making, logic. I mean, this is just fascinating to me.
I don't want people to think it's a quick fix, okay?
Okay,
Really is very individual on how long it takes for the child,
okay,
to respond to it. So it really depends on how clean that child's diet has been,
yes,
if they're getting enough sleep, if they're hydrated. You know what I mean? There's so
hmm,
many other factors involved. The first mom that I did the interview with on my page there, I think she didn't see any results for about a week.
okay, a week.
Yeah,
Wow.
but some kids take longer, especially if the child is a little bit older.
Okay.
And they're like I said, if the diet is really not good, they're getting a lot of like artificial colors and flavors and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Their body's a lot more toxic, so it can take longer.
Mm-hmm.
So it really, really depends. But like I said, we have that 90-day money back guarantee, and I would give it at least like 60 days at least.
60 days to
But I
see.
mean, but it really gets better and better because this is the interesting part.
Mm-hmm.
When you give the body all these strains of probiotics, prebiotics, phytobiotics, you're basically building an internal pharmacy. So
Mm-hmm.
when the child is stressed and needs like more GABA, for example, to be relaxed, that neurotransmitter,
Mm-hmm.
all the bacteria in the gut is there that will provide that GABA. It gives them like stress resilience. So it gives, if that makes sense. Like, so the
Yeah.
bacteria is basically laying and building in the gut and living in the
Mm-hmm.
gut. And then when
Yeah.
the kid gets stressed, it releases that neurotransmitter to the brain. So that's kind of how it works. And I love that image of the internal pharmacy because that's
Yes.
truly what it is. I mean, it's so, so interesting. It really, really is. And then I just have to say this as a little side note.
Yeah.
When you're giving your child a lot of sugar, that is breeding bad bacteria in the body.
Okay.
So again, this putting in the good bacteria is going to push that stuff away. But you want to, again, as you mentioned, like how long does it take for a
Mm-hmm.
child to feel it? So if this kid
Mm-hmm.
has been living on sugar,
Yeah.
there could even be some detoxing going on, like
Right.
when you introduce the good bacteria. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just fascinating. But the only way to really know is to give it to your child.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only way to know.
No, that makes so much sense that some kids obviously have, we all have different diets. So sometimes it's
Yes.
a full on like detox.
And
So,
different stresses, different stressors. The
mm-hmm.
kids are under so much stress.
I
And when they're
know.
under a lot of stress, their cortisol levels are really high and they
Mm-hmm.
could be even stuck in fight or flight, which we see a
Oh,
lot.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
I've been
that
there
nervous
myself.
system, yeah, that nervous system is stuck, literally stuck in fight or
Mm-hmm.
flight. Also, when you bring in like the serotonin, dopamine, that
Mm-hmm.
is going to help to reduce those cortisol levels, the serotonin especially.
Tell
That
everyone who's listening if you're not familiar, cortisol is a stress hormone. Cortisol levels can really be off the charts if, kids aren't
yes.
properly regulated and they don't have a clean diet. And it sounds like this,
And sleep.
and
Sleep is
sleep.
huge.
Yeah, sleep
We
is
also have
oh,
a sleep gummy that I take
mm,
every night. It's delicious, but it really does help. It's not melatonin because melatonin we don't want to do that. But what it
right.
is doing is giving you calming herbs, but then
Mm-hmm.
also creating more serotonin, which then at night will convert to melatonin.
Oh, wow.
The kids gummies are another like huge, huge hit.
Oh, I'm sure. What kid doesn't want to take a gummy and
I
then
know, it's
that's
so good, and there's no sugar in it either. I don't know how it tastes so good, but it really does. Like, I
that's
could probably eat, like, the whole jar, which is not a bad
That's
thing.
awesome. This is just fascinating, Dale. So, can you tell us, like, let's say there's a parent that is on the fence or they really want to learn more about this, like maybe a parent who has a child with ADHD and they want to explore different ways to reduce their child's symptoms and help them thrive. What advice would you give to a parent who's just wondering?
I would say again, like, clean up your kid's diet, like,
Uh-huh.
clean it up, read labels,
Yes.
get the sugar out of there, make sure they're
Mhm.
hydrated. Even just, like, hydration alone, the brain needs hydration to work.
Yes.
The sleep, again, sleep is critical. Kids are not getting enough sleep.
I know.
The devices that they're looking at night are keeping them up. It's activating their brain
Right.
and making it really difficult for them to calm down and settle into sleep. Pain is a huge one. We
Routine,
want to
yep.
keep blood sugar levels stable. So you don't want to have like these dips, and that's what the sugar causes. Like all these
Right.
dips in blood sugar, and actually, I even remember one of my kids, like I would, and I mean, you've heard that word hangry, right?
Oh, yes,
People are
angry.
hungry and they get angry. And it's
Yes.
true. I mean, and kids, like when their blood sugar drops, especially young ones, they can start like getting crazy. Like, and it's just
Yeah,
because their blood sugar drops. So keeping their
absolutely.
diet really high in protein, high in nutrients. I know it's hard to get vegetables and into kids,
Mhm.
but I'm a huge proponent of like protein shakes and throwing some greens in there.
Love
We have
it.
a really, really good superfoods supplement also that I will
Mhm.
add to my shake. I add it to my grandson's shake. They love it because it adds a little sweetness, but they're getting so many vegetables from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm big on that. Like even at night, giving them a little protein shake, like just a little half a protein shake to help them sleep is helpful. And then, of
Gotcha.
course, if you really want to give the best thing you can do for your kid is get them on probiotics, get them on
Yes.
supplements. It makes a huge difference. And I'd love for people to come and look at some of the stories. I'd be happy to invite them in. Like I said, we have
Yes.
so many stories in there.
Yes. I was actually just going to get to that. That's a good leeway. Right before that, I just had one last question before
Mhm.
we move into how parents can find you. Are there any misconceptions about this happy juice or these products that you're talking about that are just so wonderful for children? Have you
Yeah.
noticed any
Yeah.
misconceptions out there?
Yeah, I mean, I would say again, like it's not a quick fix.
Okay.
It's a very, very powerful tool, but all
Mhm.
the other stuff needs to be in place as well. You know,
Right.
like we talked about, the nutrition, the sleep, the hydration, the stress
Mhm.
levels. Don't, expect your kid like to be running, 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 running. Like kids need downtime. Like
Yes.
don't over schedule them. Like it's
Mhm.
not, they don't really need that. Like they much more need to like go out and play, get some fresh air, like maybe have a play date, or maybe they just need to be by themselves for a bit, like, and just calm down. Like, I think we're
Mhm.
just in this busy mode and we try to keep our kids busy because we think, well, that's what everybody else is doing. Like, my kid's in 3 sports and this and that. I'm like, little ones, especially, they don't need the hustle and bustle. Like, I don't think any of us need the hustle and bustle, honestly.
No, I
Like maybe one
agree.
sport, maybe. But again, if your kid doesn't want to do it, like let him, maybe he just needs to be calm and do some painting or, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, some
meet them where
downtime.
they're at. And then
Mhm.
the other misconception would be that, it's going to happen in a week. And it does, but I
Mhm.
would give it time.
Give
Just
it
like
time.
when you're introducing something new to the body, give it time for the body to like accept it and understand it, and you know what I mean, like if and like I
Yes.
said, if the child has been having a lot of high sugar and that kind of thing, there could even be some detox that goes on, and
Yeah.
we have seen that especially in older kids. So yeah, I would just
Yes.
say give it time and put all the pieces together, use all the tools that you can find.
Right. So look at it as a holistic method. We're looking at the
Absolutely.
sleep, the diet. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah, and one more thing that I hope that your listeners will hear me
Yeah.
loud and clear. As a grandma, as a mom of 5, take care of you. That is the absolute
Yes.
best gift that you can give your kids, is to take care of you, because they are breeding off of your energy. Whether
Yep.
they articulate that or not, if you are stressed, they feel it.
Yes,
So take
absolutely.
care of you first and foremost. And
Mhm.
that goes through the same thing. We have an adult happy juice, but again, your diet, are you sleeping? Are you taking care of your nutritional needs and requirements?
Mhm.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's just so important.
I couldn't agree with you more. It's so important. A lot of parents come to me in my program and they just want to fix their kid. And I'm like, well,
Mm,
we've got to start with you first.
yes,
We need to make
yes,
sure that you're calm and regulated because it's like mirror neurons. Kids do what you do. So
absolutely.
yeah, I love that. That's so, so important. Thank you for
Yes.
bringing that up, Dale. And so, for all the parents or anyone out here who's listening, how can they find you? I know we're going to post the links, but is there
Yeah,
any?
I would love for people to drop into my messenger.
Okay,
And I'd be happy to like send you an invite into our community. That I
wonderful.
think is the best way. But if somebody doesn't want to look in the group, we can certainly set up a time to chat in Messenger or Zoom or whatever works.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And is there any last thing you want to add? If not, it's totally okay, but just want to
I
make
would
sure
just
that
say
I've
that,
captured everything.
yeah, I mean, I feel like we covered so much, and I
Yeah.
so appreciate the opportunity to share this. In today's world, we really need to slow down. We really
Yes.
need to take care of our bodies and get our stress down. There's just too much friction, too much conflict, too many families that are breaking up, kids that are really struggling through that. I just want to support families because it's so important to have strong family relationships and have a strong family unit. And we cannot deny that our physical bodies have something to do with that because they do.
100%.
They
Yep.
do.
They 100% do.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dale. I really, really appreciate you being here. And hopefully, we'll be able to connect again and I'll have you on again because this was literally one of the greatest conversations I've had. I'm so excited to even look into this myself. So, thank you
Wow.
so much, Dale.
Well, thank you very much. I so appreciate the opportunity.
You can drop in the comments if you have any questions for Dale. And
Absolutely.
all right. Bye now, everyone. Have a beautiful day.